Welcome to the Moonrise Human Design YouTube channel. We are so happy that you're here and you're interested in learning more about human design from us today. In this video, we will be diving deep into what it means to be a 4-6 profile in human design. We're going to talk about the 4, the 6, and how these two energies interact with each other to tell you more about who you are intended to be in this life.
This space, this Moonrise community, is a space for you to learn, explore, and contemplate human design. We believe human design is a system, a vehicle to get you into your heart, to get to know yourself at a deeper level, and to experience more acceptance and compassion for those around you. My name is Sam Fotenhauer. I'm an intuitive embodiment coach and human design trainer based in Austin, Texas.
My name is Nadia. I'm a therapist and I love to teach human design and actually incorporate human design into my therapy practice. And I'm based in the Bay Area, California. We at Moonrise have a lot of different resources that you can use to learn more about human design. If you like this content, we go much deeper in our courses that are both live and self-paced. We have these very personalized and robust guidebooks that tell you all of the different facets of your chart in a downloadable PDF on our website. We also have individualized readings. If you want to hear about all the different pieces and how they work together, that's the benefit of a reading versus hearing about all these different separate parts on YouTube or a podcast.
So should we get into the profiles?
Let's do it. What is a profile, Sam?
A profile is like your personality archetype. It's the way that you share your gifts out into the world. It's how you take this inner self and these other core parts about your chart and actually communicate them and express them out with other people.
Yeah, I think said another way, your profile tells you the type of person that you are designed to be, the role that you play. And when you study and sit with and meditate on your profile, the energy in your profile, you have the capacity to be continuously brought into more ease and alignment and flow.
There's 2 numbers to a profile. It's like a fraction. So you're 4-6. What that means is there's 6 lines to the profile. So we call it first line, second line, third line, or line 1, line 2, line 3. And then everybody has 2 lines that make up their profile. So you're a line 4 and a line 6. And these orders matter. So the line that you start with, the number that comes first, is what you lead with. It's more likely what you are personally connected to, where the second line is still important, but is a little bit more of a supporting character and something that you may feel a little bit less connected to, but others can witness in you a little bit more obviously. Both are important. And we're going to go through each line individually and then how they relate together. So for the 4th line, Nadia, what is the 4th line?
Well, I just want to start by saying I love 4-6s, and it's because I'm a 4-6. So
how did I not mention that before?
So I love talking about the 4-6 profile. I'm biased, but I love 4-6s. It's such a vibrant, colorful, wonderful energy. So we're going to talk about each of the numbers and then how they work together. So let's start, Sam, where you started with the 4th line. The 4th line as defined in human design is called the Opportunist. Ta-da! Opportunist simply means that you are here to be deeply in community. You are here to be a deeply relational being. Your relationships matter. It is very important the people that are in your life and that you're creating and carving out space to invest in those relationships, because those relationships are designed to yield opportunities, and you are designed to be very much in flow with and connection to what harvest is available within your relationships.
I love the way that you articulate that. The 4th line is so important that you understand that the quality of your life is directly related to the quality of your relationships. And almost every big opportunity and even important people that you meet will come through your network. So this can be your inner circle. This could be your closest friends, your closest family members, but it could also be someone that you worked with 10 years ago and you guys still follow each other on Instagram and they connected you with somebody that will give you their next job. Like, it's not necessarily your close. And so being in your network and connecting with your network means that every relationship can support you. And it can support you in a lot of ways. Yes, opportunities. But sometimes when people hear that, it's like, well, that kind of feels like I'm just using people for those things. It's not about that. It's about genuinely connecting with other people, being your authentic self, being a kind, loving person that you are, And then also trusting that if I need something or if I'm looking for support, let me turn to my network first.
Beautiful. Yeah, your relationships are so important to you. And if you feel disconnected from the people in your life, this might be your sign to reach out. An hour-long phone conversation with someone that you haven't talked to in a few months is never a waste of time for a fourth line, because there's so much that happens through your network. Sam is a 4-1, I am a 4-6, so we both lead with this fourth line quality. And true to our fourth line nature, we met each other through mutual friends. And you know, it's just very important to recognize that you're here to be influential within your network. People that you might not have talked to for years, people will remember you. They'll stay connected to you. It's like a fourth line has all these different invisible strings that are connected in relationship and in community. And even if that string is really far out of your orbit, there's still a chance that that relationship comes in decades later to bring some sort of opportunity or thing to you.
I'll give you an example, a classic fourth line. So I used to practice corporate law, and I left my job without a plan because I just knew I needed to break, and I wanted to go into environmental law. I had like a list of all my dream qualities, but I remember writing it and thinking this isn't possible because I've never heard of anything like this. And when I left, I decided to inform the folks at my firm, which was like 1,000 people, which was common then. And I just said, you know, I'm moving into opportunities with water and environmental law. A colleague of mine, who I think I've talked to twice, but sat across the hall from me, reached out and said, hey, you know, we have an alumni of our firm who works in this. Can I connect you? I said, absolutely. That person was like, I'd love to talk with you. I talked to him on the phone. 30 minutes later, he's like, can I hire you? And that ended up being the most sustaining and perfect job. It actually fit everything on that list and was like exactly what I needed. And I could have never found that on my own because I didn't even know it existed. Like, it was not something that you could just apply for. It was created through a network. And so the people or the things or the opportunities that can come through are often beyond what you are imagining them to be. Also, beyond the opportunities, your quality of your life, feeling healthy, feeling vibrant, will be related to these relationships because you will get a sense of love, of support, and of like loving life through your relationships. So for that reason alone, your relationships are valuable to you.
Absolutely. And just know that there's this quality of externalization to the fourth line that you are meant and designed to share within your network. And so you might be talking on the phone with a friend and you're like, yeah, I read this book and it was incredibly impactful to me. And all of a sudden they've ordered it the next day. So just recognize, like, whoever connects with you, even the way that we're talking to the camera right now as fourth lines, you're designed to feel almost as if you're in the room with us, feeling this connection, this quality of warmth, connectedness. Fourth lines, your gift is being able to break down barriers to intimacy more easily with people, to build a sense of trust and a sense of rapport more quickly and more naturally than perhaps the other energy or the other profile lines, I should say.
We could talk so much about fourth lines because we're obsessed with them,
and we do in our human design course if you're looking to hear more about them. But for the sake of time, we'll shift us into the sixth line.
Yeah. So Nadia, as a sixth line, can you tell us about it?
So the sixth line in human design is called the role model. And I just love this word. And if you are a 4-6, you might not be as consciously aware that you are a role model for others. I'm certainly still surprised to see a little bit that people are meant to look up to you. People are meant to want to emulate you in some way. And that might feel kind of uncomfortable or edgy for a 4-6 because this is the unconscious part, the sixth line. But you're really intended to live your life in 3 distinct phases. The first phase of your life, ages 0 through 30, are meant to be lived as a third line, and we would encourage you to watch one of our third line profile videos if you'd like to learn more about this. But at its core, that means that your first 30 years of life are lived through experience. You're meant to bump up against life, to kind of have it be a bit messy in the first 30 years of life, and I certainly resonate with that. Your first 30 years are kind of like, I'm collecting as many experiences as possible. I am in the mosh pit of life. And around, I love that. And it felt like that, at least for me. It was like, whoa, there's so much happening. Yeah. Wow. Something very interesting happens around ages 28 through 30. In astrology, this is when you experience your first Saturn return. And ages 30 through 50, you are designed to kind of take a step back from all the experiencing and just being in things head first and start to reflect and to become wise about those experiences. What did that mean? What did that experience teach you? How are you starting to embody the wisdom of your lived experiences? This is a wonderful time, and myself included. This is when I actually sought out my first therapist, is around age 27, where I was starting to realize like, wow, I'm not feeling as much of a desire to be so in everything, but I'm sort of stepping back in a way. 30 through 50 is when you're really cultivating your wisdom, when your wisdom comes online. I like to think of the 6th line as a bottle of wine. Ages 0 to 30, you're a grape out in the fields. You're like experiencing all the sun, you're growing. 30 to 50, you're being bottled, you're fermenting or whatever the wine does in its bottle. And then 50 plus is what's called the 3rd act. Being a 6th line. You're designed to take all of this embodied wisdom, crack open the bottle of wine and share it. You're meant to be immersed in the world. You are meant to share your wisdom. You only get better with age, 4/6s. That is what you're designed for. It does not mean that you do not do anything important or of note ages 30 to 50. I'm here creating this business with Sam. There's so much that you're intended to do. Just know that the flavor gets only more seasoned with time. Just like a cast iron that needs many meals cooked in it to really feel the effects of it, as a 6th line, you only get better with age.
There's this analogy in human design called the 6th line getting on the roof. And you can imagine, like, in your first 30 years, you're playing in the street with all your neighbors. And you have that perspective of down there, and you're in life, and you're experiencing things firsthand. And then you get back on your roof, you climb on your roof, and you suddenly see everyone playing in the street with a different perspective. You're going towards the outers, you're observing more. And you're looking at that and looking at your experiences and fitting them in. And then in that 3rd act, you go back down. But you're going back down with this new embodied wisdom. The 6th line is called the role model, and that's because there's an innate gift of wisdom within you. And in that gift, you're developing your wisdom from your personal experiences, from how you actually live life and the lessons that you learn. So it's a style of leadership that's very embodied, and there can be a humbleness from that. Of, I did that. I had that experience. I went through that relationship. I went through that divorce. And now on this other side, I have perspectives, and I remember what that feels like, and this is how I can view it now. Yes. People will naturally look at you as the role model. And that can happen early on in age. Like, you don't have to wait till that time, but you'll start to feel a lot more invitations. And it's like you'll have this whole body of work of distilled wisdom to offer because you've had 50 years on life, where that's a whole different feeling. And that part will also feel more fulfilling. It's like, I'm back in the game, but not because I want to win, but because I want to coach.
Yeah. So let's talk about these two qualities together. The 4 and the 6 line, you are intended to be a role model. You are intended for people to look up to your unique brand of authenticity and integrity. You're designed to explore what that integrity feels like to you. And instead of telling everybody, this is how you need to be because this is how I am, you're actually intended to play a very sacred role in human design, which is awaken the authenticity of others by being as authentically yourself as possible. And you awaken that through these deep relational connections. I continuously forget that I'm a 4th line first, and I have to continue to remind myself it is not enough to be connected in my, romantic partnership or in connection with business with Sam. I need to extend my network. I need to continue to invest in these relationships. These relationships are your lifeblood. So 4th lines, really lean into this quality that you have, and also lean into your unique form of lived wisdom. It is designed to be shared.
You're the role model for your community, for your family. As a 4th line, you're bringing everyone together and you're leading the way. And that leadership doesn't have to be like telling people what to do. As Nadia said, it's an embodiment, and it's a role model as people are coming up to you and asking. There's this natural, you'll naturally be at the centers of this in many ways. And all you need to do to actualize this is continue to invest in your relationships and continue to give yourself opportunities to be seen in what you know and to be open to invitations that others want to learn from you.
Beautiful. So there's so much more to learn about the 4/6 profile. We would encourage you to consider getting a guidebook or doing a reading with one of us or investing in our human design training program. But until that point, you can actually engage in the comments. What do you love about being a 4/6 profile? How have you seen this live out in your life? And we're so grateful that you're here.
If you love our content, we also have our individual podcasts, the Wild River podcast, The Current. We talk about spirituality and personal development, and we'd love to see you there. Thank you.